Expelled college students of Reddit, why are you expelled? I went to a private Christian university, and I have a friend who got expelled for supposedly exorcising a demon out of someone in the middle of a wide open courtyard. I unintentionally got another student expelled. We were critiquing websites we had built when I noticed one that looked exactly like mine with a few tweaks. I popped open the source and noticed it was a line-for-line copy of my code with a few changes to the CSS. I brought it up to the professor to protect myself in case he noticed them, though I doubt I would have been suspected. Mine was more cohesive. The changes he did make didn't make the site appealing. Anyway, apparently it was his third time plagiarizing after twice you go on trial with a school. If you don't get expelled then, a third time is the nail in the coffin. Edit, I did not get expelled, haha. This is just a third person anecdote. Edit 2. We routinely critiqued work in class. Most of our sites were built through CodePen. All he needed was any student's CodePen username and he had access to the code. I am about 99.3% sure it's how he did it. I spent too much time drinking and not going to class. I was a junior with a 1.6 overall GPA. University said they didn't need my ilk around there and would open my spot for someone who would appreciate it. This got my attention. I went to the dean and talked with him for a couple of hours trying to get back in. He said no, 19 out of 20 of you guys go back to doing the same thing. I told him I would be the exception. He gave me another chance. From then on out it was 4.0 every semester. I finally got my GPA up over 2.5 so I could graduate. I made sure and went back to the dean's office to thank him and tell him that I was that 1 out of 20 that made it. Installing Bitcoin miners on all the computers in a video editing lab. Our professor explicitly warned us not to run Bitcoin miners on our university's high performance cluster as that would get you expelled. I highly suspect someone did exactly that the semester before. For being off campus with a member of the opposite sex without proper supervision. No, seriously. I was making a search engine for our school teacher evaluation page. It absolutely blew up in popularity and a large portion of the school was using it, about 5k views per day. Essentially it was like Rate My Professors except it used the evals that they force students to do at the end of the class as data. I also added features that made it more desirable to students. It became so popular that it was showing up on the front page of Google for certain teacher names. Some of those teachers had low ratings and got pissed off and complained. I had unintentionally violated IP laws because the evaluations were under password protections and my site was not. The only reason I didn't get expelled was because the dean of my department had my back. He did research and concluded the information should not have been private in the first place, then sent a public information request to make it so my project did not break the law. I definitely had people asking for my expulsion for a scary amount of time. I got thrown out after I graduated from a master's degree program. The teacher asked me out for drinks when I asked to talk about one of my papers. I turned him down. I had to take a class with him in my next to last semester and he tried to throw me out for plagiarism. I tried to press harassment charges and the ombudsman talked me out of it by saying I would be stuck in his class if I pressed charges. The ombudsman asked to contact administrators at the school and urged me to get an incomplete in the guy's class and just graduate next term. After graduation I am getting ready to go on job interviews and I receive a letter telling me I have to enroll in 4 courses and get A's to offset the F the teacher in question wants to give me. I follow up and the teacher, who is now the chair of the program, elects himself my academic advisor and takes over the situation. He fakes my grades and tells me I have 6 weeks to complete the entire course all over again. He tells me if I do my best he will make it possible to graduate as it's mathematically impossible. I can't complete the work in time and he throws me out. I'm given permission to reapply and soon it becomes apparent they are not going to let me in to fix the situation. I contact the graduate department and meet with their legal counsel. I show them the fake grades, explain the rule violations and inform them of my having reported the guy. They tell me to try to work with the program again and then they will intervene. The program refuses any solution involving my readmission. The graduate dean allows me to file academic grievances and rules that there are lots of things wrong but does nothing about them. He concludes by telling me I can either get readmitted or give a replacement course via transfer. I take the course and submit it. The graduate dean says they can't accept the course if I can't get enrolled. Dean rules the matter reviewed and closed. I sue the school alleging unjust enrichment. I provide all of the documents and records as it was all conducted via email, and I have my student folder. These get certified via discovery. The school evokes sovereign immunity and says that since the fraud and negligence happened more than 2 years before I filed, they are immune to prosecutions. Judge agrees. I file appeal. As of August of this year, it will be 10 years. My roommate got expelled for basically never going to class, not even when there was an important exam. He spent all night smoking weed, with me, and playing video games, not with me, and then slept all day until about 5 PM. Like I would wake up, go to my 8:30 lecture, get lunch, go to lab 2-5, then come back to my room and my roommate was still sleeping. I found out the following summer that he had gotten a letter from the university asking him not to come back. Last I heard of him, he had enrolled at a commuter school, where he made the dean's list. I'm dealing with a roommate like this now. He was kicked out probably a year ago but is just paying rent at our apartment. It's 3 AM here and he woke up 3 hours ago. Expelled because my GPA dropped below the competitive level for the engineering school at my college. I was given the option of transferring to a different school. They recommended I go into the humanities, or be expelled. Well, thankfully I had a job from the previous summer that was willing to hire me on full time before this happened, so I took the expulsion and went to work full time. Since then, I've gotten my certifications and work in the trades doing fairly well for myself. So, yay. Edit. Since a lot of people have asked similar questions, I'll answer them up here. I left with a 2.9 GPA. I needed to maintain a 3.25 in order to stay in the program I was in, as it was also providing a scholarship. Couldn't afford school without it. I went into HVAC in the trades, with an emphasis on programming. If people are genuinely curious, I highly recommend looking into the trades. Some people just aren't meant for university. Not saying they're not smart. For instance, I graduated high school valedictorian with a 4.45 GPA. Some brains just aren't set up to be sitting learning in a desk for 4+ years. There's a stigma that it's a lower class job, but don't let that stop you. I paid off the student debt I had within a year and a half of working, and at 23 AM looking to purchase my first house. The trades, assuming you get technical training, or go into a highly sought trade, pay extremely well. I make a little over 48k a year after being in the trades for a little over 3 years. And that's still as an apprentice. Also, not bashing the humanities one bit. My brother went that route, and he's one of the most intelligent people I know. I just have a mechanically inclined mind, and it would have been wasted going that direction. I had a friend who skipped all classes and failed everything because all he wanted to do was play LOL. He got a warning that if he didn't get his grades up he would be suspended for a year. He got suspended. When he went back to the school a year later the same thing happened again. Now he can't go back to that college again. My freshman class, 2007, was the first to have more dropouts due to WoW than to drugs, and it wasn't because drug use was down. Wasn't expelled but damn near. Junior year I took an elective class called reading fiction. Cool class but the teacher was extremely strict and took the class very serious. I'm alright at writing papers, and this class involved heavy writing about writing techniques, symbolism, foreshadowing, act. We were assigned to read a book that I can't remember the name but I wasn't into it at all. I struggled to finish it and struggled even more to write a detailed paper on it. I slammed out the minimal page requirement and sources needed. It was not my best work but it was serviceable. I get an email from the teacher a few days later saying he would like me to come into his office hours. He accused me of plagiarizing certain segments of my paper, which I did not, and was ready to send my case to the dean. Apparently some things I sourced in my paper were done incorrectly which lead him to believe I straight copy and pasted from the internet. The second hour of office time was him passive aggressively calling me an idiot. Like and subscribe for more daily Reddit videos.